Okay, I think everything should be good. Um, this is episode 7 of the Boomers podcast, and it is 12:03 on Tuesday, September 21st. So it is a weekday, and I shouldn't be up this late. I should be asleep right now, but I really wanted to make this video, and I just can't. Like with school, my time management has been really bad, so I've been slacking on like exercise and the podcast and stuff just because I've been so lazy, and I've also been drained and overwhelmed with this amount of stuff that's in first year, man. It has not been easy to adjust to this. But obviously there's still fun in that, and there's a lot of growth going on in it. So I'm grateful for that, and it's enjoyable, to be honest. Even though I feel stressed and stuff, it's still enjoyable. Um, so yeah, I really want to make this episode because I just can't not make it. Like, it might sound stupid. Like, obviously I could, but like, I know that this exists and it's my creation, so I wanna keep on doing it. I want to stay consistent. Because that's how you grow. But oh, I voted today, which was pretty cool. Um, and yeah, I voted. Um, Only some people will understand what I just did, but that was such a cool thing to do because it's the first time. Like, I've obviously never been 18 before. It's my first time being 18. Sounds so stupid, but um, like, I haven't ever felt that. I haven't felt the like power of being 18. Because it's all just been the same. I've been living the same life since I turned 18. Because I don't drink, or I don't go to casinos or stuff, or clubs. So to have the 18-year-old power to be able to. Actually, there might be something that I'm missing, but to be able to vote was super cool. And yeah, it was fun. I haven't really done too much work today. In terms of school, that's just because I had to vote, and then I went out with my family and stuff and did some things, but I still felt very tired and stuff, nonetheless. But you know, I one of the things about school, okay, I sucked at calc in grade 12 in high school. I sucked at calc, to be honest. Um, I was very bad at the start. Limits was my worst unit, and then for the next 3 units, I tried and I actually did really good. And then after a while, I just gave up because I didn't want to try anymore. It was second semester, I just wanted to give up. But now that I'm doing calc in university, um, when we started limits again, I was pretty stressed because I sucked at it in high school. So I was like, it was until like before Sunday, I did not do any proper math work. So like, I was so worried for what was happening, for what was gonna happen, because I like, the way I look at myself when it comes to this math stuff is just, it's not good. I don't look at myself in a good way when it comes to math. But then when I had those thoughts, I was going back to like the idea of the second episode. If you guys have seen that, it's all about how you like paradigms and how you see things. And then I was thinking, like, the reason why I did bad is all because of my choice, and how my conscious choice, and that tied into episode 3. So it was just these layers building up, and then I'm like, it was the fifth episode concept, like, having something to hold on to when you have a negative thought. So it's all these things that were piling up, and then I realized that, like, when I got to do the limit stuff and I started working on it, I started learning it again, acting like I didn't even know it, learning it again for the first time. I got a different perspective, and now I think that I can handle it. If that makes sense, what I just said. But it's that type of stuff that there's a lot of beauty in. And you know, yeah, I want to get into what this episode's really about today. Going into university, I just talked about it, but going into university, it's been a tough transition, and all up to this point in my life, I've heard people say, my dream is this, or when I grow up I want to be this, or like when I graduate, this is what I'm gonna do, and when I want to be this, whatever. Like I want to get married and have X amount of kids. People say like they have a plan, and it seems like everyone does, to be honest. But like when I get asked that question, like at like family friends' houses and stuff, they're like, so what are you gonna do in university or with your future? Like, what are you gonna do? It's always like I don't know. I don't have a proper response for them. Like have you ever felt that way? Like have you ever felt like you don't know what you're doing in your life? Because I know I have, and I am feeling that right now. Because literally every single day, when I go to school or do schoolwork, or whatever, I just don't know, like what. I don't know what I'm doing when I go into these classes. Like I'm in 5 classes right now: chem, physics, bio, math, and psychology. So that's 5 classes, and it's different than high school. So I don't really know I don't have a full understanding of everything, and I have to get an understanding of things in university classes. But in terms of classes and in terms of my life in general, I just don't know, what direction I'm headed in. And with like social media and with people and just social paradigms, like in the society, like how people think, it's like you have to have everything like sorted out. You have to have like a plan or a script. I feel like that's how society is, and I think that's wrong. I don't personally. I think that's wrong. I'm gonna get into that a bit more. But like people usually say that like their dream is like to become like a doctor or a lawyer, or like something in like the professional world. It's never like oh, I want to be an artist or a podcaster. And obviously that's because it's not like a realistic, quote unquote realistic, and that makes sense. We gotta live in terms of reality, which is okay. And if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever the hell, that's perfectly fine. And a lot of us are going to end up being those things, in the professional side of life. But like when people ask me what I want to do and I like don't have an answer, like a lot of the time it's like they almost look at me like there's something wrong with that. But what is wrong with not having a plan? Like I don't see the problem with that. And I've been off Instagram and social media in general the past 2 weeks. And I've been trying to limit my phone usage to 2 hours daily. Sometimes I get a bit over or under that time, depending on what I do in the day. And I don't really talk to many people often besides my family, because that's my family. They have my most constant relationships, so I have to be constantly putting in effort to my family. But like when it comes to like friends and people, there isn't that same expectation because the relationship isn't as consistent, But I made the decision to log off my Instagram and to really get away from social media and stuff. And I wanted to do that for a long time, but after doing that, after taking a step back from social media and people and conversations that are just so much of my conversation with people my age and my friends nowadays is just based on school. And obviously that's because we're all experiencing it right now, but like that's just one thing I noticed. And it's like I don't want to think so far ahead. I talked about that in the fourth episode. Like I just want to focus on getting through this day, or I just want to focus on the present. I don't want to focus on the days that are far ahead in the future, because there's no point in that. In my opinion, that's just the way I look at it. You might disagree, which is fine. But when I take a step back, I've stopped, like, getting off social media. I've stopped forcing myself to have a plan in life, or like I've stopped forcing myself to like I have to have a dream. I've stopped that thought that like you have to do this, you have to have this sorted out, you have to do this. I've stopped that, because to be honest, I don't have like a specific dream in mind. I don't know if it sounds stupid. It sounds kind of crazy to say out loud, but I think that's really how I feel. And through that process of not forcing myself to think those thoughts, and taking a step back from social media, and through talking to like 2-3 people on my phone, and spending my time through family, through all of these things, I've discovered sort of like a new part to myself, or a new avenue of myself, and I've learned to accept it. And it's probably one of my most important and heartfelt thoughts, or paradigm shifts, or whatever you want to call it. And it's something that I realized over the last 2 weeks of being off social media and all this. And it's that, and shout out to Max Kellerman on First Take, because he planted the seed in my mind. But it's that the idea is that, life itself is the dream, and that I don't need to have this dream or this plan that I like have to follow, or a script that I have to follow to live my life by. And like just think about human life. Like what is human life? Like, you can't give me an answer. Maybe you can give me an answer in terms of the physical, but like in terms of it, like everything, like why are we here? Like you can't tell me that. And like what's the purpose of living every day? It's just that like human life is so, it's like there's not one way to look at it. There's not one right answer. And you can't convince me or anyone, you can't convince anybody of a real answer to what human life is. But just thinking back to what I said in the fourth episode, we're all gonna die one day. We're all headed to the same place. One day we're all gonna meet at the finishing line. If you're religious, you'll believe in that. But we have been, we are, and we always will be equal. So, with all that in mind, it's just like life itself is the dream. Like every day, right now, as I'm recording this is the dream. Like this is so beautiful what I'm doing here, and what I do every day. Like when I go to class, when I have one in-person class, when I go to math class, and I go into that lecture, and there's something new or confusing or whatever, and then the response is to feel like I feel scared and lost without even forcing it. That's just how I feel. And then after those feelings come, then I learn and understand what I was confused about. Like that's part of the dream to me. It's just like damn man, it's hard to talk about, man. I've been thinking about this for a long time, but just the idea of the things we accomplish every single day, and the things we do, the things we like, just being alive, just take being alive. Like, how blessed is that? It's it's amazing, man. And like, one of my favorite things to do lately is now that I've been off social media, not that I already didn't do this, but I've been talking to my mom a lot more, ever since I've just had no urge to go on my phone. And it's been good for both of us, and it's been fun, and we get to talk about our feelings without any judgment. You know, there's unconditional love. It's beautiful, and that's also part of the dream. You know, like, how blessed am I to have this amazing person in my life, and everyone in my life. Like, even you watching this, how blessed am I to have you listen to me? Like, and now, like, every enemy, not that I have an enemy, I don't really have an enemy, but like, every good person, every bad person, it's all a blessing. And it's I'm just at a point where I have to appreciate all this stuff that's happened to me, and the people who are in my life, and just doing everything every day. It's the dream, man. I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't want to be anybody else. I wouldn't want to be in any other position. In terms of in terms, like, socially and financially, anything. I'm just so happy with who I am and what I am, and you should be too. I think you really should be too. But through these last 2 weeks where I've just been off, or more, not, I wouldn't say off, to be honest. I've just been having more of a balance with social media. But throughout these last 2 weeks, there was a point where I was like, you know, there are people out there who you know, think they have it all right. You know, they think they have their entire lives planned out, and maybe they're right or wrong about that. But you know, I can just, like, forget that. Who cares? Just worry about yourself, and because you're in control of yourself. So focus on your happiness. And if you don't have it figured out, that's fine. It's perfectly okay, because there's beauty in that, and because life is the process. And I've just been learning to not follow a script, or to not. I feel like it's something that not that many people can relate to, because most people I know, they have their undergrad figured out, what they're gonna do after, and you know, when they want to get married or whatever. Like, I feel like you're forcing it so hard on yourself, and like, trying to find relationships and stuff. You're like forcing it so hard, and I don't like that. I don't want that to be something that happens to me. So I'm taking some sort of action against that, to prevent that from happening. Because it's like with the thing about relationships, it's like, at least for me right now, like, I have to put in so much energy and so much effort to like, make myself happy and to keep myself content. So like, how the hell am I gonna do that with someone else? Like, that's also something that, like, being off social media, it's like, and when you're on social media, sometimes it's like, you see these couples on their Snapchat stories, and you see Instagram posts about couples and stuff, and it's like a pressure in you, and it's like when am I gonna be in a relationship like that? But, and honestly, that's something that I was thinking about for so long this year, every single day. It's like, you know, when, like, I'm stressing because, like, I haven't discovered who I want to be with yet. But why do I need to discover that now? Like, the time will come whenever it comes. But right now, I don't have to focus on that. I just have to focus on my happiness and not anybody else's. Well, no. That's not good to say. You want to focus on other people's happiness. You want to be a good person. You don't want to do things that make other people feel sad or bad or anything. So that I said that wrong, but you know, it's just, oh my god, I feel so good because I've had so much space. Just that's something that happens when you get off social media. It's like you have so much space to just feel like you can move around and not have these things in the way. But because of that space, I've been able to ask myself a lot of questions and put my energy on the more important things, like yourself, like myself and you. Like the one thing that we both are guaranteed is our own actions, our own thoughts, our own everything. That's all in our control. So why focus on the other things when you can just focus on yourself? Like, it's so amazing to just think about the potential you have as a human, because we have so much, and a lot of the time we overlook it. But it's just, man, focusing on yourself in the way that I'm talking about and the way I have experienced it, it's helped me grow. It's helped me grow so much. And I just been feeling more human because I've taken away this freaking robotic experience, I guess you could call it that, like, out of my life. So, you know, I really recommend taking action against social media in your life. You know, however you want to take that sentence. But take action to do it in balance, because it really helps. And for me, I feel like that has been such an important part of my life these past 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks. And I've already felt all this amazing emotion and these amazing feelings. And it's been consistent. It hasn't just been a feeling for one day or 1 hour or a week. It's been 2 weeks. And I feel like it's going to continue, inshallah. But that's the focus of this episode today. It's just the idea of social media. But to understand where I'm at with social media, we have to go back to the very beginning. And I'm going to take you on a little trip right here. So I, at the age of 10, on January 29th, 2013, you can scroll down on my Instagram account at GoHummer, GOHAMR is the spelling. If you scroll to the very bottom, you'll see my first post I ever made on January 29th, 2013. I was in grade 4. I was 10 years old. Wait, I was 9. I was 9 years old when I started using Instagram. So, and I downloaded Snapchat a couple months after that. But, dude, I am 18 now. And I was about to turn 10 when I got Instagram and Snapchat. So you can do the math. That's over 8.5 years of having these apps on my phone that I would just scroll on and just be on, you know? That's as of September 21st, 2021, that's 3,158 days. Just to put that into perspective. So you can imagine all the time that I wasted on Instagram and Snapchat and stuff. And, you know, because using social media has been such a, like, these past 3,000 whatever days of my life, every single day, just, like, that's such a deeply rooted habit. Like, it's just in my brain. And, like, just with any, it's become an addiction. And, you know, with addiction, you can't just immediately cut it off. That's just not how your brain will work. You're gonna go into um, what is it called? What is it called when addicts like relapse? I think it's called. I forgot the word I'm looking for, but your body's gonna react because the chemicals are changing in your mind and stuff. You can't just cut it off instantly with any addiction, because there has to be like a shift and like a kind of a glide into the sober world, but like it does feel like I have detoxed from a drug, even though I don't do drugs, so don't question that. But it feels like I'm sober, whatever that means. It just feels like I am. But earlier this year, when I was just on social media and stuff, I started asking myself like what am I doing? Like, what is the point of this scrolling and this constant need to check my phone? And the answer to that question, what am I doing, was always nothing, or I don't know, or I'm bored. So I'm bored, so my solution is to just scroll and try to find something entertaining. But when I started to think about it more, about why I'm doing this, it was just like I realized that it wasn't even rewarding. There was no meaningful reward with scrolling and being on these apps. It was just a straight up waste of time in most of the cases. And I'm being really unfair to social media, because I know that social media is a really good news source. It's really good for social justice issues, because it's so powerful, especially after the whole the George Floyd murder and all that. Like, social media, we've really seen how impactful social media is, and it's really good that happened. So in terms of that, and also bringing people together, because social media, if it wasn't for Instagram and Snapchat and stuff, I wouldn't be able to document a lot of memories, like Snapchat memories, which is dope. I wouldn't be able to talk with a lot of my friends and keep in touch with them. So in that sense, social media is good, but that's where the balance comes in, because you will only do the good parts of it in balance. Where the imbalance comes in is where it's just scrolling without even, like, subconsciously you just pull out your phone and you just scroll. That's where the imbalance comes in. So it's always good to bring yourself back. But there are some good parts about social media that I just mentioned. So I don't want to be too unfair here, but I was doing some research earlier this year, just because I kind of realized that this was an issue of mine. So I found out that the reason why we scroll so much on our social media platforms is because of it's also the reason why you're watching this right now. It's because of a neurotransmitter in the brain called dopamine. I was stuttering, my bad. But it's responsible for how humans think and how humans plan. So it's like a reward system. So if you eat a good I'll link the video in the description of the guy who made me aware of this, but it's like a reward system. So say you eat like a bag of Lay's for the first time and you taste that it's like amazing. I think they're disgusting, to be honest. I hate chips. I don't even eat them anymore. Haven't eaten them for like 2 years. Anyways, when you eat like a potato chip and you're like, damn, that was good, and you finish it, and then the next time you go to Walmart or whatever and you see that on the shelf, you're gonna be like, yo, I want that. So then, because the chemical dopamine is motivating you to grab that, because it knows that the reward is the taste of that chip. That's not my example. That's the video's example, but that's just to show you the basic idea of dopamine. But what social media has done, it's taken the hardwiring of your brain, so the little connections you have in your brain, and because that's where the dopamine is, and it's made you the pig chasing the carrot. And if you saw the fifth episode, you know what I'm talking about. In Minecraft, when there's the fishing rod, and if you sit on top of a pig, and you have a fishing rod, you can make the pig go in whatever direction you want. But social media is taking control of your brain's chemicals, and it's controlling you. I want to ask you this question. Have you ever been on social media and found yourself asking yourself that, like, what am I doing, or what did I just accomplish? Because if you were able to do that, then you've had the realization, like, you've consciously realized that there's something about this that is not right. There's something about this that makes me feel like I'm wasting time. And that's what these social media platforms do. They have ways to keep you scrolling and to keep you clinged onto their apps so that they can benefit from it, And if you just think about it, the Instagram homepage, it's like, it's weird because, like, mine, the homepage I have now, I'm gonna open it right now. It's literally, look at this. I don't know how well you can see that. Okay, here's the first post. Boom. You're all caught up. And then now it's just random posts. Look at this. Like, it's a random post. Like, I don't follow these people. I don't even know what this is, but it's all like apps that can make you money in 2021. 5 tips to improve your focus. But, like, on someone's main account and on my main account, it's gonna be like memes and like just straight up time wasters, bro. Like if you were to scroll there right now, a lot of people, their feed is unlimited, and obviously that's because what I'm saying is true. They want to keep you hooked. But, like, if you were to like maybe this isn't a good example. Think of the explore page on Instagram. That is just a bunch of random stuff that's similar to what you follow. And the reason why that's there is because when you get tired of your homepage, you might go over there to your explore page, and now you're gonna be clicking on random things there. And that's terrible, man. That's so bad. It's something that not like the majority of people do not realize how bad that is. If you don't do it in balance. But the TikTok For You page is the exact same thing. I know you can change it to, like, the people you follow, but in general, when you load up the For You page, it's people that you don't even follow. So you might find something funny on your For You page, and then you keep on scrolling because you want to get more of that reward of finding something funny. It goes back to the chemicals in your brain. But the freaking, just think about a group chat. Like, even a group chat, it's like it keeps you hooked onto the app. And I found myself, I'm in some group chats on my podcast account that I used to be in on my main account, because obviously I logged off and I wanted to be in touch with my good friends. So they added my podcast account to the chats, which is, I'm fine with that. But when I would get into, like, a conversation, I would just stay hooked onto it, and I'd have to remind myself, like, this isn't good. I should get out of this because I'm, like, just staying on. Like, I need to get off and, like, do something productive. But that's how they keep you hooked, or at least those are the ways I've seen. Maybe there's more. But when I think about it, like, so many good times this year and, like, in my life have been when I don't go on social media, or, like, I spend, like, 30 minutes to, like, an hour on it every single day. And when I went camping this year with some family friends, I experienced that when I was camping, having a good time without my phone. Um, when I go to Pakistan, I have an amazing time every single day, and that's because I don't use my phone. Like I have actual human experiences with people. And my best friend Mikhail came over in July, and we whenever we were together, we would do like fun stuff that didn't include our phones. It was like things we were doing together. There were barely any times where we were like both just like straight up scrolling. We were always talking and taking advantage of the time we had together because it was amazing. Best 10 days of my life by far. Freaking, we always talk about that. But social media is draining. It's overstimulating. You're overstimulating your brain. It's just too much. And when I finally just after so long of having the urge to get rid of it, I finally got rid of it. Got rid of my addiction towards it, and it's felt so good because it feels like you have a responsibility to attend this group chat or to reply to these texts or to subconsciously just check your feed, but it's really not like that. We're just so scripted in this habit of checking our phones that it just seems like second nature, but it's just something that wastes our time, man. That's really what it is. But people carry that responsibility that they feel they have to everyday things, to like while they're eating, when people eat they'll pull out their phone and scroll. And to be honest, I like, it depends. If you're alone, I understand why you'd pull out your phone and scroll, but when you're with other people, like that, in my opinion, that's kind of disrespectful. That, like, depends what you're doing, okay? It depends in the context, but it's just like, just put your phone down, man. Like, we're in the same room together, let's just talk. And it depends how long you do it for, but still, while you eat and when you're with other people, I don't think you should have your phone out unless it's like really urgent. And like, even in like social gatherings, like you'll see someone like pull out their phone and like scroll for a bit or text for a bit. And obviously it depends what they're doing, but it does come across kind of rude sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And going to the toilet, man. Going to the washroom. People take their phone with them. And honestly, I've been guilty of this too. But I've been trying really hard to get rid of this. Is to not take my phone to the washroom anymore. That's something that a lot of people do, and it keeps you staying on the toilet, and that's a waste of time. That's just what it comes back to, man. It's all just a waste of time. And for my age group, this one hits a lot. In class, you're in your virtual class, just straight up. Okay, scroll. Like I noticed that about myself, that I would do that a lot. So I keep my phone on my bed, while my desk is over here, and I study along this wall, so I can actually focus. And believe it or not, this next one is crazy. In the shower, I know some people who in the shower they take their phone in and they play on it. Like, what? That's so crazy. And maybe if you're watching this video right now, you do that. That's so insane. Like that, no, you should not do that, man. That's a terrible habit. And I've probably done that like a couple times in my life, but not a habit. Obviously, I'm not trying to sound like I'm above everybody else, but that's just so bad. And then the next two are probably the biggest ones that everyone does, and it's really bad. It's when you wake up and you immediately reach for your phone, and then you scroll, and you waste like 10-30 minutes of your day already, and then you get up, and then when you go to sleep, you play on your phone for maybe 20 minutes to an hour, and then eventually you're like, okay, plug it in, and then leave it and go to sleep. That is terrible. Those are both huge wastes of time. You would just waste it. If you do that every day, you waste a lot of minutes or hours. So when I noticed that about myself, I noticed that that was where I was spending the most time on my phone in like one sitting, was when I woke up and when I went to sleep. So that's where I started my cure for this addiction from. So when I would wake up, I would reach for my phone. I'm at like from April this year and before, I would do that every single day of my life. But I would check social media and then get up, or when I would go to bed, before like April this year, I would watch YouTube, go on social media. Then all of a sudden, I'd be like, okay, I'm tired. Plug my phone in, then go to sleep. So when I realized that this is such an unhealthy habit, I made a change. So I bought this alarm clock. Hold up. I don't know how well you can see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I bought this alarm clock. It is a Sony Dream machine, and it is amazing, man. It is really helped me so much. Oh my god, my chairs. I just broke my vent. I like chipped off a part of my vent. Okay, anyways, when I got that alarm clock, I used that to, like, instead of having the alarm on my phone, I would put it on the clock. The reason why I had my phone beside me, the main reason, was to have an alarm to wake me up every morning. But when I realized that I was misusing my phone because of having because of that, like, alarm, like the alarm clock helped me fix that habit, and it also helped me do what I need to do, which is wake up. So that was amazing. That thing has helped me so much. That dream catcher back there. But so I did that. I got the alarm clock in mid-May of this year. I think it was like May 13th. Anyways, I started charging my phone on my desk. This desk, which sits over here, which is across and far away from my bed. I charge my phone there, and then I go into my bed and go to sleep. And even though, like, it probably, if you don't do it already, it probably seems boring to go to sleep without a phone, but I can guarantee you that it feels amazing. And it's really healthy for your brain and the chemicals in your brain and stuff, and your eyes. It's healthy for your eyes too. You don't want to be looking at these screens for so long. But I've been doing that for the last 5 months. Since mid-May, I have been using my alarm clock to help me get up, and I haven't been using my phone in my bed. So I've saved a lot of time, and I've been able to get up pretty quick after my alarm rings. I'd say on average like 2 to 5 minutes after the alarm goes off, I wake up. Like I get up out of my bed. But I really wanted to let this habit sink in, this habit of the alarm clock thing. So I didn't log off of social media until 2 weeks ago. And that was something I always thought of doing. I always thought, like, I should try and fix this bad habit of mine, being on social media. And then I eventually got around to doing it, which was good. I made it something real instead of just keeping it in my head. But my podcast account has helped me so much in using Instagram in balance. And this podcast has helped me with so much, and it's helped other people so much. So yeah, it's just been an amazing ride already. If it were to end here, I would be happy. I would be so happy, because this podcast has done amazing things for not only me, but also for a lot of other people. So yeah, that's that was so nice to think about. But I haven't felt the getting back to the topic. I haven't felt the need to talk in group chats or to people. I haven't felt like this inner responsibility to do that, and it just hasn't felt important, And obviously, staying social is important, and being aware of your friends and stuff. It's important, but you can do it in balance. It doesn't have to be constant and like with the scrolling and with the overdoing of it, But yeah, I haven't just realizing that social media isn't important, and what is more important is myself and my family and some friends, some close people. But yeah, it's just been that, man. I wish I did this earlier, to be honest. I wish I started this at an earlier point, because I would have saved a lot of time, and I would have stopped wasting. Actually, no, that's stupid. It's stupid to think that I should have done this earlier. I should have done this at this time. I wish. That type of language is bad. I think that things happen at a time for a reason. So screw that. Screw what I was just thinking. That was terrible. But if there's one thing, in conclusion here, if there's one thing you should take away from this episode, it's that you have just one, this finger right here. You see this? You have one shot at this life, everything in this life, and you don't need to follow a script. You don't need to be someone. You don't need to force things on yourself. You can just let it happen. Let it come at the time that it comes at. You can be the scripter in that way. You can, if you're self-aware, you'll be able to look at yourself and find out what your problems are, and then you can either script or re-script yourself, and create both in your mind and in the world around you, and you can fix your problems. Because that's what my problem was. My problem was social media freaking going crazy, and I was just scrolling and messing with the chemicals in my mind, and just engaging in a bad habit. But once I took action and I actually did something about it, and I realized that it was a problem, it has benefited me in so many different ways. And I talked about that throughout the last however many minutes you were listening. But yeah, you only have one shot at this entire game of life, this entire thing. So you gotta make it good. You gotta do what you want. You can't fall to whatever other people want you to do, or you can't say, I wish I did this. I wish I was this. I wish I could do this. No, screw that. Just do it. Just if I come to a point, I don't know what I'm gonna do in the future, to be honest, but if I come to a point where I have to say that like I wish I would have done this when I was 18 or 20 or 22 or whatever, that is probably the biggest form of failure that I can think about in terms of just myself. So I'm going to avoid that. But yeah, I want to quote Saint Francis of Assisi. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, but this is the man who said this. Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. That pretty much sums up this whole social media thing that I was thinking about and talking about. It's that I realized that it was a problem and it was necessary to change this. So I started doing what was possible, you know? Getting an alarm clock, making that my new form of you know, that was just something that helped me to do what I have to do, which is wake up. And I was able to log off my Instagram account. You know, those were the things that were possible. So I did those. And then obviously I'm doing now what I thought was impossible, which was step back from social media and get rid of this addiction, because it's really the most, like, the addiction that everybody has now, or a lot of people, not everybody obviously, but a lot of people have an addiction to these apps and these things. So it's good to be aware of it and to take action now, today, not tomorrow. Start today. If you really agree with what I said, and if you were just like how I was, if you are like how I was, you know, not using social media in balance, not putting a limit on yourself in terms of your phone usage, start today. After you finish this video, start. Like, you can do so much. You can fix so much. It's all a matter of actually doing it. So yeah, I talked about a lot this episode. I hope that you're able to take something good away from it. And I've been feeling stressed and last week I was feeling pretty down about everything. But then I remembered that, like, I have to be strong in this life, because life isn't easy. And obviously I have a very privileged life. I live without any worries of not having enough money, or I have my survival needs met, you know? So I'm blessed. But, you know, there's beauty that people don't see. There's ways you can see that beauty. And one of the biggest ways we're blinded by that is by social media. So, yeah. That was this episode. But yeah, scripting. That's really what a lot of life is about. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being here and supporting me and listening to my words, because whoever you are right now, I'm thinking of you. I don't know who you are, you know. There's a lot of people I'm thinking of right now, you know, right now, people that I know, or in the future, people who aren't even born yet, people who I know, people who I've talked to. I know you're watching, and I just want to say thank you, because you're helping me so much, and it means a lot. But yeah, I'll see you in the next episode.